An Al-Qadim replay. That game makes me so sad. It could have been so good if it were so much shorter. Pile of debris hums with ancient power. I mean, I like Barovia too. I'm not gonna complain about having to deal with Strahd. There's a reason, like, Quest for Glory 4 is my favorite Quest for Glory game. Oh, no. Okay. I was expecting this is going to be straightforward, not an actual city we have to murder our way through. Okay. Makes sense. Kind of nifty. Ravenloft 2 replay? I would do that. I would do both of those, honestly. Actually, didn't I replay them, like, last year? When was it? When was it? I know I replayed them, I want to say recently, but it was probably a while ago. I gotta check. If I have to play Quest for Glory, I have to name my character Gowron. Why do we name them Gowron? Silvernail. Also, hello, Silvernail. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. I haven't replayed Daggerfall in ages. That is very true. 2 years ago. Jeez. Doesn't feel like that long. It really doesn't. I need to test something in chat here really quickly. Okay, just making sure that the bot's still running. Star Trek reference, he was a Klingon obsessed with glory. Nice.
Mean-spirited even.
Nice. A furious storm obscures the sprawling city below, but you can make out the shape of distant spires reaching up from the flooded ruins. Spirit winds tug at your soul with insistence, like a stern hand trying to pull a cloak from your back. You recall the last time you encountered a bioac. It feels like a lifetime ago. So here we are. You look to those who accompany you this far, who risk everything to face the confrontation ahead. Nah, we don't really care. How do you I think we're as ready as we can be. Let's go.
I'll take care.
Any engraving in the memory of Daemu, Tapua, and Tokima, Ngati's first chosen. Okay. I'm doing another save here. 09, maybe endgame. How am I a chicken? I just saved the game. I mean, if you guys want me to go through the entire sailing stuff again, we can. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
As you like.
Through the device of the tower. Oh, though the device of the tower spins in a wild, blurring revelation, the air around it is still and calm. You stand in the eye of the storm, which has cordoned off Andra's mortar from the rest of Aora for thousands of years. You see an antiquated control panel, its levers engaged in positions of activation. A deep percussion shakes the tower by its roots. Somewhere in the obscurity of the storm, Aethys rears back his fist to deliver a mighty blow. Hardcore no reload? Oh god. Could you imagine that? Like, your characters die, so you have to remove them from the party and go to town and, like, hire a new NPC to fill the slot. Alright, a layer of dust covers its elegant glass tubes and engraved copper levers, which appear both intact and fully functional. How is it covered in dust, I want to know, considering it's outdoors? And it's also pouring rain right now. Pillars of Nuzlocke. Horror. We deactivate the machine. You grip the largest of the levers and bring it up to its starting position. The vibrations of machinery gradually slow and the turbulent winds grow calm. We did it. It's heavy dust. Ah. Like radiation.
The machine controlling the storm winds down. The clattering of its machinery settles into a low whir and then, at last, hiccups to a halt. Beyond the tower, the black, roiling clouds of Andra's mortar roll away from the ancient city of Ukaizo. with only a tired sigh of wind to see them off. And on that last breath of wind comes to you a familiar sound. The ring of a bell. The bell's ringing is soft, not the clangor and torrent you've grown used to. It calls to your soul, and your soul yearns to follow it. Your soul flees from your body and into the beyond, chasing that sound. It leads you at last to Bareth's realm, to that cold platform and room of endless doors.
Watcher, your journey nears its conclusion.
The pallid night stands before you, her gaunt face impassive.
Let's make this quick. I've got an engagement with a living statue and I don't want to be late. We say nothing.
Soon you will confront Aethys for what will likely be the final time. And you will do so as the Herald of Bareth, the only creature on the face of Eora to whom he will listen. Remember that.
The pallid night inclines her head to you, black hair hanging lank in her face. She steps back and cedes the floor to Helia with a small, resigned sigh.
Silent treatment for the gods. Yeah, I've been like going out of my way that when they're like bickering and stuff, I just keep my mouth shut and let them make asses of themselves.
If Aethys truly intends to go through with his mad plan to destroy the Wheel, a generation's worth of souls will be trapped in the in-between. So many would suffer. How can Aethys be so cruel? He cannot just abandon them. Aethys must help the Kith find a quick solution.
Abaddon strides forward.
Eothas thrust this crisis on the Kith. They did not bring it upon themselves. Their only mistake was in trusting us to watch over them. Who will help them rebuild their world now?
Aethys will reveal every secret of the gods. Will Kith be able to change the established order if they have no wonder to inspire them? Aethys must help them resolve this quickly, lest every one of Eora's few remaining mysteries be laid plain.
We say nothing.
With the wheel destroyed, Kith will tear themselves apart. It is the gods' duty to prevent that happening, lest they doom us all. And as Kith must be ruled, so too must the gods. I say that if Aethys is so eager to throw down the mantle of power and step aside, I shall take my rightful place as Queen of the Gods again.
Kith are strongest when they follow our lead, and we are strongest when we lead in turn. United in purpose with the gods, Kith can accomplish things that without us, they could never have even begun. They must be shown their boundaries to surpass them.
Kith will not solve Aethys' puzzle on their own. And without an established order to fight against, the bonds that bind them dissolve, and they fight amongst themselves.
We say nothing.
Boudica's firm hand is but the motherly smothering of Helia by another name. Mortals should have no special advantages. Only once Kith have striven to improve themselves through trial will they truly know their measure. Kith must suffer to find their strength if they are to survive the world into which Eothas drags them. Our intervention in your struggle would be a cruelty and counter to our purpose.
He lets his words hang in the air for a moment. Gaze level with your own.
Yeah, the gods are pretty much all just irredeemable dicks. The only one I don't have a problem with is the one that we're actually working for.
Indeed. Kith must discover for themselves what it is they are worth, and of what it is they are capable. What we do for them, they do not learn for themselves. Trial breeds ingenuity. If our work of generations was not in vain, Kith will succeed in spite of Aethys' actions. I have faith in Kith's ability to meet Aethys' challenge. Do not mistake my words for indifference, Watcher. They are born from a fierce belief in your potential, not a refutation of it.
We say nothing.
Margren is blinded by her affection for mortals.
She does not see that entropy is the destiny of all things. If Eothas were wise, he would destroy everything. End life, end reincarnation, end death.
Yeah, the volcano failed, but I mean, I guess at least she tried something, whereas all these other gods are just kind of in the background, you know, wringing their hands.
Kith have had their chance. It is time to let silence reign.
As Rimergon's words fade, the Pallid Knight returns. She no longer towers over you, a giant even among the gods, but meets you at your height. She lets the arms crossed over her chest fall to her sides. She speaks to you openly, plainly, an expression almost like tenderness, turning up the corners of her lips.
Well, Watcher, you know where we stand. What do you believe?
Ooh. So, I think the reply that I would go with is the gods did what they could, we'll take it from here, but I have a feeling that when I would say this, it would mean different from what the game is going to mean. Because when I would say this, you know, the gods did what they could, we'll take it from here, and what I mean with that is humanity will be taking it from here, and the gods can go fuck themselves. What I think the game is going to think is me being like, oh yeah, you guys tried, but we'll do what we need to. And then, you know, they'll be back in power again. I think that's what we're gonna go with, though. The gods did what they could. We'll take it from here.
I only suggest that you walk into this future with eyes wide, Watcher. The mantle of responsibility is a heavy one, broad though Kith's shoulders may be. Now the time has come for us to part, Watcher. I laid upon you a difficult duty, and you have discharged it well. You will be free of it in time, but not now. You have work to do yet. You are no stranger to hard choices. You killed Theos, and when his soul was laid bare before you, you chose to destroy his memories. You freed him from his past. Remember the strength it took to make that choice, and know that you alone may sway Eothas now. When you stand before him, choose your words carefully.
The gods depart one by one in brooding silence. A solitary figure remains perfectly still until the last of her colleagues is out of earshot. Boudica peers down at you, a triumphant grin splitting her weathered features.
Bareth is a fool if she thinks I'll let her enjoy the last word. You were trusted with a heavy responsibility, Watcher. Speaking for mortals, and representing their interests in the future to come.
Ooh, we're gonna be lippy. I can't stand Boudica. Be gone! I've heard enough out of you!
Impudent whelp. Seek your counsel from Eothas, then. No doubt he will fill your head with idealistic conjecture. The rest of us will be sharpening our blades, preparing for the future he lays out for us.
If we're given the opportunity to kill all of the gods, I'm going to take it. Consciousness returns in a wave as the last of the machine's energy dissipates. The calming of the storm reveals a sprawling city around you, sand wiped from a mosaic. You see the distant outline of Eothas raising his fist in triumph and purpose.
You keep falling asleep on me, I'm gonna have to start walking behind you with a pillow. Oh, by the way, the storm's gone. Also, I think Eothas has ended the world.
Adair takes a long draw from his pipe and nods as he stares down at the Colossus in the distance.
It seems we're all still here.
God's darnation. My head.
Peering over the edge of the tower, you make out a distant shape amidst the ruins below. An iron-studded warship has dropped anchor in the shallows, its cannon angled at the shore. It's nearly cracked in half, but the standard of the Royal Dreadfire Company persists in flapping with the breeze. The empty deck tells that the surviving crew have long since boarded a skiff and rowed ashore, which means that you're no longer alone on Ukaizo. Oh, if there's ever a place for a final standoff, it's Ukaizo. Oh, and Jody finally dinged. Nice. Sure. Wasn't there a setting where gods went mad and waged war on the mortal plane? Yes, that was Birthright. 2nd edition. Look at him go! He's just fisting the world.
I shall.
But no, Birthright was a very, very interesting setting. There was actually a computer game too, Gorgon's Alliance. The game was not amazing, but it had one of the most amazing introduction videos, I think, out of any of the games. It's like peak 90s. It had like Power Rangers music, and Zordon narrated it. It was badass. And then you had to play the game. Oh boy, here we go. Hazanui Kaoru approaches, her weapon drawn. Her face is bruised and cut in her uniform, torn from the rough journey, but her eyes are clear and focused on you.
What you people from lush, bright lands fail to grasp is that Rauatai isn't a storm-tossed spit of land. It's the Kith who stand together there.
I'm going to kill all of you and make you, Maya, the betrayer.
Captain, Watcher, there's a right and a wrong about this, drawn as clearly as a line in the sand. I know what side I'm on.
Zordon narrated, yes, I'm sure, BG Noise. She grips her weapon and stares you down as Shiza glances between you, seeming less certain. See, her bird knows!
Ukaizo belongs to us. We've earned it with blood and sweat, and no one shall take it from us now.
Ukaizo belongs to the Wana.
Not while I'm around. Rauataians, defend Ukaizo!
Alright. Okay. I feel bad for killing the bird, but that's about it. I'm immediately going to maze her, though. Let's see, what are we up against here? Mages, okay, nothing too crazy. Aloth, why are you in melee? For the sake of God. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. Let's see, Jody, you're in melee, so I'm gonna have Goldleaf do that. I'm going to have Swell do fire weapons. I'm going to have Adair unbending trunk. Jody, I don't know if you're actually gonna be able to cast it, but try casting Crowns of the Faithful on the melees. Everybody loves a good main, especially the late. Wow. That horrid wilting just chunked Maya. Oh, no, it didn't. Never mind. She's out of there. No, yeah, it did. Wow. Okay. Good talk. That's what you get.
Happy to oblige.
Picking a fight with the party. I think you got both her and her bird. No dying, Aloth. As one. There's some damage coming in, though. Let's maybe try to mitigate that a little bit. Healing chain. Healing chain. Goldleaf, why are you out in the midst of the enemy pack? How did that even... Oh, she might have gotten pulled out there. Okay. Goldleaf, reposition, don't die. Oh, there goes Goldleaf. Okay, that's fine. Tentacles. Tentacles.
I did not learn this spell speak.
Hey, we had some good times.
Come on, guys. I know you can do this. This shouldn't be a hard fight. Why are you struggling? Why? gonna hit him with another one. It's just constant spell interruptions.
This is too much.
Just constant spell interruptions. Mildly incredibly frustrating. Let's see, where is Juan's Pledge? And
All things must come to an end. Even me.
okay, I think their Weather Mage might be out of magic. Good Chain Lightning. Do we do a delayed blast? I think we do a delayed blast. There we go. Alright, Adair back on your feet. I don't know why this fight went so pear-shaped. I do not know what happened. We were doing just fine until we weren't. This mage keeps fucking interrupting every cast. Oh my god. He can play with Adair.
What do you need? Yeah? I'm feeling the strain.
Well, this is not ideal. Oh my god, they have tentacles. What is this life? Alright, now we're gonna reload. We're gonna reload. Oh, don't tell me that it didn't... Oh no, I think this is right when we just came in. Yeah, that mage is gonna be a primary target. That mage is gonna be a primary target. I'm probably just gonna have Adair rush him immediately and beat him down. Alright. Oh, we get to do the talkie talk again.
Captain?
Let's see. So last time we did Ukaizo belongs to Huana. Let's do I don't want to fight you.
This is greater than the two of us, Watcher. Roataians, defend.
Alright, so this is one of those choices that really isn't a choice. Okay, gotcha. Alright. So where's the mage? There's the mage. Adair. Introduce yourself. Aloth. Gib things.
Not exactly my area of expertise.
Shut up, Aloth, and do the death magic. Or don't, because reasons. Death magic. Here you go. Okay. Aloth is on the wizard. Or not Aloth, Adair. Adair is on the wizard. There's all of our loot just sitting right there waiting to be plucked. Let's do some chain lightning. Not on my party members. Adair, use your unbending trunk. Alright. Kill the wizard. Just fucking kill the wizard. That's all I ask. Can we get tentacles? I want to get my own tentacles in here. Adair! Oh, he's immobilized. That's unfortunate. Can you charge while immobilized? Yes, you can. Wonderful. Alright, wizard is getting pummeled. We're looking busy. Chain lightnings be a flying. I'm gonna just stack some of these healing auras up here if we can. There's just so much shit going on. This dude just keeps punting Adair back. It needs to stop. Let's see. Get in with Into the Fray. Jody, do some heals. Swell, what's actually the range on this? Ah, it's close. Because, like, Adair is getting beaten on pretty badly. Adair, no dying. I know you're a big boy. I believe in you. Oh, this is perfect. Alright, Adair, I want you to, like, charge here. That charge ability is so good! That is, like, no joke, probably my favorite ability on any of the fighters in this game. Okay, hopefully that Weather Mage is gonna just get exploded by this fireball when it cooks off. Anytime now, Delayed Blast Fireball. Or did you get interrupted because you're bad, which is probably more likely.
I wish I could.
What do you mean you wish you could? If you wish you could, then do it, you dip.
I'll kill the bastards.
He's casting. He's casting. Alright, there we go. This should be a good boom right here.
I need some help here.
Alright, Mage is down. Wonderful. Let's get a heal. Let's get a heal. Let's get Aloth his spells back and lob a Chain Lightning. Good Chain Lightning. Could do another Delayed Blast Fireball, actually. That's probably unnecessary. I'm gonna summon Tentacles. Dick Wizard castrated. 100%. Alright. Yeah, we've got this now, I think. I could do Wilting Wind, but I'd probably kill half my party with it. So let's not do that. I don't think that's necessary. There we go! Much better. All we had to do was kill the wizard. Do I get all my shit back? Hazanui's Crested Hat. It's just worth 256 coins. Alright. Yoink.
Yeah?
So this should be... Yeah, there's Maya. She has her armor, but none of the other equipment I gave her.
What do you need?
That's some shit right there. Not only do they take your NPC, but they don't even give you the gear back. Rude. Very, very, very rude. That's... I hate it when games do that. I hate it when games pull NPCs out of your party that you've been running the entire game with, first of all, and then to not even give you their gear back. That is like such a kick in the dick.
You descend into the ancient winding streets of Ukaizo. Battered by storms for thousands of years, the ruins bear the marks of their role as the lone witnesses of the gods' great secret at the center of the city. The houses and boulevards are pierced by great spears of luminous Audra. There are no ashen bodies, no birds, no sign or sound of any life. But with every step, the rhythmic pounding in the distance draws nearer. Soon, you can feel the vibration traveling up your spine. As you approach the center of the city, the weathered architecture gives way to more luminous Audra, piercing the ruins, eventually overtaking them entirely. Cresting the top of a fallen tower, you finally get a clear view of Aethys. He stands, legs astride, next to a great stone monument ringed with 11 cavernous alcoves. All but 3 hold a gargantuan skeleton, bones scrubbed clean by the city's storms. An immense Anguithan machine floats above the monument, suspended by invisible energy emanating from a well of light beneath it. Great brass rings spin around a core of metal and Audra at the machine's center. Periodically, Aethys's massive arms swing back. The movement alone is enough to draw great gusts of wind toward him. When they come down on the machine, the impacts are accompanied by eruptions of electricity, fire, and smoke. The hundreds of luminous Audra pillars across Ukaizo sympathetically dim in a rippling wave that spreads out from the machine. The only safe route to the god is a steep ascent along a monstrous pillar of luminous Audra. Intertwined with fragments of Ukaizo's ruins that it has carried through the centuries. The pillar bends in a long arc, towering above the machine. The pillar levels out near Aethys's head, a silent observer to the destruction of the machine it has grown beside over thousands of years. You weave your way along a treacherous, rain-slicked path up the pillar's skyward side. As you arrive at the top, you catch Aethys's attention. Fist pulled back, he pauses to observe you. With the same gentleness he showed at Ashen Maw, he lowers his arm and turns toward you.
This is going to be a Dark Souls boss. We're just going to be fighting his feet.
To see Ukaizo in this way. It may be hard to picture, but this city was once full of life. The Huana, yes, but also Kith from many other cultures. Great hanging trees shadowed these boulevards. Gardens sprawled across the open rooftops. Each spring, a festival procession would wind its way from the hillside into this valley. The celebrants would pass through a steep walk among the stalls of foreign merchants, flowers falling upon them from all sides. All people of all nations, together in a celebration of new life. Such was the power and beauty of lost Ukaizo.
If we don't fix this mess you're about to cause, the whole world is gonna look this bad. I mean, it's a mighty heavy load you're putting on our shoulders. I just hope we can carry it.
As long as there are people like you in this world, Adair, I truly do. This power has always been in the grasp of mortals. Now you will finally be aware of it. Now you will be able to decide what to do with it.
Gon, please, I'm begging you. What do I do following this? How am I to best serve those still living? To improve our future chances of survival?
The Deadfire and the Eastern Reach are full of animancers. Women and men with brilliant minds who can solve this great problem. They will also need people with brilliant souls, like you, Shodi. People who can tend to the spiritual needs of the world in a time of fear and desperation. Remember, the flame you bear is not only light, but warmth. Provide comfort to all who need it.
Loth shakes his head, looking up at Aethys.
What right do you have to do this? Destroy the wheel and leave us with nothing? Without even knowing what will come next?
Aloth, we are all gods and mortals, responsible for our own actions. But inaction carries its own moral responsibility. It is a burden I have carried for far too long. One must always do as their conscience dictates, even if that means abdicating a position of power. But what of you, Watcher? Why have you followed me? Have you come to bear witness to the breaking of the wheel?
I want you to destroy it all. I've come to fight you. Ooh. Okay, so if we stop Aethys, the other gods are still gonna be around and they're still gonna be dicks. Aethys wants to break the wheel, which ends the cycles of reincarnation. So I'm thinking though, because what they've been saying is that, okay, so the wheel is the cycle of reincarnation. So you die, you go to the wheel, you reincarnate into, whatever you're going to reincarnate into. And so what I'm curious of, thank you for the head pats, Flo. Almost movie time, we're getting there. What I'm curious about is, without without the wheel, so without the wheel, if somebody dies, they're gone. If someone is then born, are they like a monster now? Because like, is our characters like, are people's souls in this what makes them Kith? Or if they don't have a soul, air quotes soul, are they still, you know, just a person? Because to me, this is two things. One, we're ending the reincarnation, but two, it just makes death death. Because like for me personally, I don't believe that there's an afterlife. When we die, and that's the end of it. That's finality. Because I remember that there was a thing in the very beginning of the first game where like infants and stuff were being born without souls, and that was like an issue. But I don't know if that's what destroying the wheel is going to do, is that there won't be any souls anymore? Or if it's just a case of you're born, you have a soul, and when you die, your soul is just gone. So I don't know. Because realistically, we would... Like, if that's the case, if when you die, your soul is just gone, we would just be here to witness, because that's just, you know, when you die, it's over. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Don't destroy the Well of Souls. No eggplant heaven. I'm sorry, Flo. The great vegetable garden or fruit tree in the sky. Yeah, like that's the other thing, Cell, is like our soul's a finite resource. Or do we throw hands with a god? Which is tempting. I'm gonna actually Google it. Pillars of Eternity Soul. I want to see if there's any... Okay. A soul is energy that binds to an individual. When the individual dies, it moves forward in the eternal cycle of reincarnation known as the Wheel. Any damage to the underlying link up to and including separation can manifest in soul-related maladies. Much of how souls work is currently not well understood by Kith. Okay, reincarnation. When an individual dies, their soul moves forward into the in-between, which is a shadow world where souls wander after death. Using Pillars of Adra, souls enter a place known as the Beyond, the realm of gods, before they are reincarnated back into the world. Most times it takes years, but it can be very brief, with some souls reincarnating immediately. If a soul fails to reach the pillar, they continue to roam unseen in the living world. Yeah, those are the souls that we, you know, interact with. Souls are assigned to new births via a lottery, although sometimes gods intervene directly. Okay, yeah, Hollowborn. That's being born without a soul. They are completely passive and have no sense of their own awareness or those around them. Okay, so not having a soul is very, very bad. Okay, so we're not going to bear witness. We're not going to let him just destroy the souls. Okay, alright. Reminds you of Dragon Quest XI, where there are a number of human souls equal to the leaves of Yggdrasil. Yeah. Like, the only thing that I can think Swell would say at this point, he would either ask for pity or he would pick a fight, because I don't think any of these other things are going to do anything. I've come to ask you to take pity on the mortals of this world who will suffer for your actions.
It is pity for mortals that drives me, Watcher. I have felt it in every step I have taken to cross the dead fire and reach this place. What more would you have me do?
This is all about the souls trapped. They will be tormented until the wheel is fixed. They will scream out to me for help. No, that's selfish. They'll present a dilemma for Animancers. Some may attempt to protect these souls instead of working as a solution. I think of these three, this is the one that he's going to be most inclined to work with. And I think that's probably where Swell would lead. The souls trapped in the in-between will present a dilemma for Animancers. Some may attempt to protect them instead of working on a solution for the wheel.
While I hope that Animancers would realize the ultimate importance of repairing the wheel, I admit that many may be distracted by the problem of lost souls. I know such sympathy should be commended, even though I recognize what trouble it could cause. Thank you for making me think of the lost souls, Watcher. I will provide a haven for them after my work here is finished.
Aethys is kind of not a huge dick like all of the other gods. He listens to reason.
Indulge me in a moment's curiosity. There is something I wish to know about Eora, about Kith, that I can only learn through your eyes.
Go on.
You followed me all this way, dodging an armada, navigating an impenetrable wall of storms, voyaging across uncharted seas, with the machinations of gods echoing in your ears, all the while trusting in the institutions of Kith to get you this far, and earning their trust in turn. Whatever else happens this day, that much is remarkable. I believe that mortals possess the strength to collaborate and shape a future of their own design. Not all of my brothers and sisters agree. By relying on others and coming together in a time of crisis, you illustrate my point. The gods will witness you and question their assumptions about how responsible, empathetic, and sophisticated mortals can be. What inspired your decision, Watcher? Did the choice echo your foundational beliefs? Or were you influenced by observation?
Oh, this is 100% spite. I wanted to prove Boudica wrong. She thinks mortal cooperation is destined to fail.
Boudica has been especially active since the downfall of her favorite operative. Have you ever considered that she is mentoring his replacement?
Interesting. I won't dismiss the idea entirely.
My brothers and sisters never act when the gains are strictly short-term. If Boudica's shadow has fallen upon you, that can only mean she recognizes your potential to further her ambition.
Yeah, but screw her, she's an asshole.
I thank you for your perspective. Yours is not the only opinion that concerns me, but for the moment, it offers much to consider. All I ever wanted for mortals was growth, transformation. Once, my brothers and sisters shared this goal. Some have forgotten themselves, giving into fatalism or tyranny. Others have succumbed to apathy. It brings me great sorrow that crisis is the only way to set the future in motion. Would that I could pass the responsibility of heralding your darkest hour to another. Never forget that trust and coordination between mortals brought you to this place. Your future is built on a foundation of hope, and you have laid the first stone.
What happens next?
I must attend to my final work now. I cannot delay any longer. You have carried a heavy burden across the Deadfire, Watcher. Before I go, I would rid you of it.
No sooner have Aethys' words entered your mind than you hear one final dissonant ring of the chime within you, then silence. The knot that formed when the Pallid Knight first addressed you in the Beyond is now gone.
You are free now. As free as any of us can be. Many will come to you for help in the years ahead. Animancers, priests, even the gods themselves. I have great hope for you. But always remember that your future is for you to decide. Use your freedom well.
Aethys squares himself to the machine. As you move to a safe distance, he draws his fist back and resumes his assault. The blows rain down with increased fervor, but the machine perseveres in spite of his efforts. Spreading his arms wide, Aethys draws power from the luminous Audra clustered around the valley. The energy courses through his body, limbs overflowing with intense light and waves of heat. He returns to his task, each strike bringing with it the sound of cracking stone and twisting metal, the flickering of luminous Audra across Ukaizo. As the ancient machine finally begins to succumb to his strength, so too does Aethys's body, built to withstand the passage of thousands of years. The great Audra statue has finally been pushed beyond its limits. Cracks appear along the hands, then race up the arms. Aethys does not slow his assault, but continues unabated. Its brass rings twisted. The machine spins erratically but withstands the relentless barrage. Aethys stands astride it and pummels the base of the machine. Soul energy begins to flare out from the machine's heart, warping the air with the intense heat. Aethys drives his right fist into the machine's center, the core of metal and Audra. The god lets out a deafening shout, something between a cry of anguish and a roar of exultation. You see Aethys's arm shatter upward from his hand through his elbow. A flash of light and heat bursts from the core, accompanied by a cacophony of destruction. The moment passes. As Aethys's shout echoes throughout the valley, your eyes begin to recover. The god's work is accomplished. The great machine of Ukaizo has been destroyed. As Aethys's voice fades, the enormity of what you've accomplished sinks in. You have confronted a god. You have rediscovered the ancient city where the wheel was forged, and you have seen the wheel shattered. What comes next is uncertain, but already the legend spreads of the Watcher, who survived Andra's mortar and stood toe-to-toe with Aethys. Maras Nua's body finally goes still amidst the rubble of the Angwithan machines, yet it continues to glow. Priests and mystics have strange dreams of an island of eternal dawn at the eye of a storm, a port where the tide never flows out, a roadside tavern whose door leads only inward. As a watcher, you see what these dreamers cannot. The souls of the departed drifting toward the Audra Colossus and the twilight afterlife within. Whether it is a temporary haven or a permanent end will depend on what the Kith of Eora are able to accomplish on their own. The greatest hope seems to lie in the work of the ancient Angwithans and the Huana's efforts to unearth and understand it. And while Maras Nua stands frozen over Ukaizo, the gods look on the labors of Kith, but they do not intervene. They watch and argue, wager and conjecture at how or whether mortals will solve the puzzle set before them. Reclaiming Ukaizo is both a symbolic and a practical victory for the Huana. The ancient city is a potent reminder of their people's ancient glory, and it promises to be a much more easily defensible capital, especially with the storm controls of Andra's Spire close at hand. The other tribes unite under the Kahanga and dedicate themselves to rebuilding Ukaizo and relearning its secrets. The Valian Trading Company continues its operations in Deadfire, though it is forced to renegotiate many of its contracts with the newly empowered Huana Crown. Company leadership finds that the new terms are much more favorable to the tribes than to their own interests in the region. Due to these changes, the Valian Trading Company eventually withdraws most of its people from Deadfire. The Royal Deadfire Company is expelled from the archipelago as punishment for their attack at Andra's mortar. The storms across the Rauatayan mainland subside along with those of Andra's mortar. However, Rauatai regards this respite with a wary eye, ever mindful that the machinery at Andra's Spire remains under their foes' control. The Juana settlement of Ukaizo reignites Ferrante's dream of a new Valian empire. Deadfire is claimed and controlled, but the clearing of Andra's mortar offers the possibility of new prospects in yet undiscovered lands. He leads the old Valian loyalists across the sea, searching still for a new Valian homeland. Despite other tensions across the archipelago, Port Maje remains a model of peaceful, productive cooperation between the Juana and the Valian Trading Company. Though they do not always agree, Governor Clario and Stormspeaker Ikawa work together for the mutual benefit of their people. As the balance of power changes in Deadfire, so too does Nekataka transform. Though the Kahanga monarchy moves its new seat of government to Ukaizo, Nekataka continues to be a busy and important city. Largely forgotten amidst more prominent concerns, the Gullet continues to be a miserable place, especially for those Raparu who flee to Nekataka seeking a haven amidst the turmoil. For them, the Grand City is a promise cruelly broken. Ukaizo reveals more about the ancient art of water shaping than the Guild could have hoped to learn in another century of work. With this new knowledge, water shapers across the archipelago wield the currents and bend the waves for the pleasure and benefit of the new Juana nation. Your brief encounter with Letharn proves deeply influential for the children of the Dawnstars. Plagued with nightmares and haunted by the deaths at Hesango, Letharn begins questioning his faith in Aethys. At first, his fellow Dawnstars chide him, but that changes as word of Aethys' deeds at Ukaizo spreads. After all, what business have they worshipping a god who denied his own legitimacy? The children of the Dawnstars respond to Aethys' sacrifice by taking up the lanterns and sickles of the Harvesters of Gone. They become pilgrims of essence, gathering souls across Aora and ferrying them to the haven within the Adra Colossus. Others will repair or rebuild the wheel one day. In the meantime, the Dawnstars will care for the souls of the dead. The Adra at Pokakohara is restored, but the rumored Valian Trading Company post never comes to Tikawara. Torn between waiting and seeking better fortunes elsewhere, the tribe gradually scatters and fragments. Ships continue to disappear at the southeastern fringe of the archipelago, and stories circulate of a colony of vampires and gulls preying on their crews. The Queen soon sends a contingent of her bravest warriors who end the horrors of Splintered Reef. The Deadflow, an iceberg in the southern sea, continues to grow unchecked. As the ice spreads, so too do wild tales of a hideous dragon rampaging across the Deadfire. Word spreads of the primal island of Kazuwari, once home to an arena that hosted bloody competitions and fearsome ordeals. Wild tales whisper that the spilled blood attracted a terrible beast of scale and fang that slaughtered those gathered at the island before destroying the great enchanted statue that oversaw the island's trials. Absent its guiding voice, Kazuwari descends into anarchy. A vast monstrosity of tentacles and flesh erupts from the Black Isles in the eastern Deadfire, before vanishing into the depths. None know what drives the titanic beast, nor where it will appear next, or what destruction it might wreak when it rises.
I think a couple of those areas were DLC based. Like, I think the two previous to this one were based on the DLC.
Though your adventures alter the destiny of Aora and the balance of power in Deadfire, they also leave a lasting mark on those who travel at your side. Your companions find themselves changed, in ways both big and small. In the days sailing back from Ukaizo, Adair finds himself disillusioned with all gods, his own above all. Where the gods have touched Deadfire, he sees only destruction, loss, and emptiness. He casts off all symbols of Aethys, and even begins refusing to use his name. Ultimately, he chooses to remain with you on the Defiant, knowing if any mortal is to have the final word in a conflict with the gods, it will be the Watcher of Cadnua. Shodi is not a priestess who understands the meaning of subtlety. As such, she makes her girlish crush on Adair painfully obvious from the moment she first sets eyes on the strapping fighter. But as you all travel, Adair grows increasingly uncomfortable with her attempts to engender his affection, until he finally takes her aside and sets her straight. He's not interested in a sheltered, overzealous little girl, he explains in so many words. After that, Shodi turns a cold shoulder to him, sometimes forgetting to heal him in the chaos of battle. Or so she claims.
Take it easy, Noelle. I'll be on shortly, once this is finished up.
Shodi's journey through the Deadfire on your ship is an eye-opening experience for the sheltered farm girl. After many souls harvested, more lives aided, and much adventure had, the priestess declares her intent to rejoin her fellow missionaries at the Temple of Gon in Neketaka. Following a shy grin and an overzealous handshake, Shodi leaves you with an open invitation to visit her anytime. It is some months later when she pens you a missive. Can you hardly believe it? Her chicken scratch handwriting reads. Saw when sailing for distant lands. She's leaving me in charge of the temple. I've been named the High Priestess of Gon. Aloth renews his commitment to destroying the Leaden Key. With the wheel broken, loosening the god's stranglehold on Kith is more urgent than ever. It is a lofty goal, and one he does not expect to finish in his lifetime. But if there's one thing he's learned from the Watcher, it's that a single person can change the world. Seraphon seems little impacted by your journey. Always knew the gods were larger than me, he tells you, on the evening he decides to part from your company. He's too long put aside those he cares most for. He confesses over a bottle of rum, and he's got leagues to sail to make it right. The following morning, he's gone, leaving only a crude stick figure rendering of Aethys, scrawled into the hull to mark his passage. After reporting back to her superiors for the Watcher's actions against the Vailian Trading Company, Pallegina is rewarded with reassignment home to the Vailian Republics. She spends the next several years as the head of the household guard for the Duke of Ancense. In this role, she is often lauded for her courage and loyalty. Even with all of the praise, there's still times when she cannot help but feel she could have had more influence on what transpired in the Deadfire. Tekehu distances himself from the problems of the Deadfire, giving the tribes a reprieve from godlike omens. And Gati's silence speaks volumes. The Huana grow to rely on each other, paving a new way forward divorced from their traditions. Soon after he departs Neketaka, distant tribes report of unusual and salacious water sculptures appearing on the shores. These quaint visitations are widely celebrated, the identity of the artist ever an open question.
The bird lady, she was the paladin. We had the option of taking her into the group at the same time we got Maya. I have no idea who this guy is. I do not remember him.
He bids you farewell, suggesting that you seek your next adventure in a brothel or tavern, where consequences begin and end at the front door. He sounds eager to leave old conflicts in the past. Your pursuit of Aethys and your journey to Ukaizo signal the end of forces that have shaped the lives of Kith and the course of nations. The cycle of reincarnation has been broken. The storms of Andra's mortar have calmed. Yet each ending promises a new beginning. As the sun rises over Ukaizo, Kith turn their gaze eastward, wondering at what lies beyond, and at the world they will fashion for themselves. As the Watcher of Cadnua, and the former Herald of Barroth. You return to your ship and begin the long journey home. You hope for calm weather.
Thank you, Flo. I will be in for movie night shortly. Sorry it's taken so long. This game's very wordy. Hey, Asha, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we get credits? Are we done? Have we finally finished? What's on the movie? We're watching Back to the Future tonight. Assuming we ever get credits here. I think we're done. I feel like we're done. Solid maybe. Game. Yeah, now we finally hit the open. Well, game is not responding. Mild worry. Oh, there we go. Okay, nope, here's credits. All right, we're done. Nice. Yes, 2 endings because y'all are just that special. I enjoyed this. I think this was pretty solid. I think what I played was enough. If it went on longer, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it, but this was a good stopping point. But yeah, I think we are done. Thank you for the GGs.